feel like that would be our death sentence, especially with what's going on in South Africa at the moment.
Hello everyone, Sanok and welcome to my channel. A South African couple, Charné-Lee and Ivan Strauss, are pleading to remain in Australia, claiming they face a whole death sentence if they are forced to return to South Africa. The couple arrived in Australia on visitor visas back in December 2018 after fleeing South Africa due to fears of racial violence, then applied for protection visas in early 2019. Now 7 years later, they are begging the Australian government not to deport them, saying their lives would be at risk if they went back. According to them, being white makes them a target. So they're basically asking the Australian government to do what Donald Trump's administration did for white South Africans by giving them refugee status due to persecution or so-called white genocide. The couple expressed that they've been victims of violent crime from a young age and say life in Australia feels like the complete opposite. They even mentioned that in Australia they can drive with their windows down, something they'd never risk doing in South Africa. They emphasized that returning to South Africa would be their death sentence, especially with what's going on there at the moment. Their protection visas were unfortunately denied, but they've appealed and are now waiting for a decision from the Administrative Review Tribunal. If their appeal fails, they'll only have 35 days to leave the country. They've also indicated that they are willing to stay anywhere in Australia, even in the most remote places, if that's what it takes to remain in Australia. The Australian visa they applied for is given to individuals who claim they're at risk of harm and persecution in their home country, so applicants who are classified as refugees must prove that their fear is based on race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership of a particular social group. Applicants need to prove that there is no safe area for them in their country, there is no other country where they can safely relocate to, and they haven't committed any serious crime. Well, based on those requirements, it makes perfect sense why their protection visas were denied. I'm sure they struggled to prove beyond reasonable doubt that their fear is based on race. Not that crime is acceptable, but it affects every race in South Africa. I mean, if Australia was to issue protection visas based on the concerns raised by that couple, everyone in South Africa will qualify shame. Everyone in South Africa is affected by crime. I wonder what stopped them from using other pathways like study pathway, finding a job, Gutandi special treatment. I mean, the husband is an air conditioning technician and they say it's in demand in Australia, so with just the husband's profession alone, they could stay in Australia. But I guess they just want Trump's genocide and persecution what visa in Australia.
People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people.
I think it's important that the law's applied the same way across people who are seeking asylum or humanitarian visas from anywhere in the world.